Thank you, Dan. Good evening once again. The Championship is often called a crazy league, and if things go a certain way tonight, we could have leaders with a minus goal difference, and that would be just one of a number of surprises in Reading's season so far. They just about avoided relegation during the previous campaign. Paul Ince stepping back into management after 8 years away, and they were among the favourites to go down at the start of this season, but they could be top by the end of this evening. But on the other hand, Queen's Park Rangers could be joint leaders under new management yet again. Their seventh boss in 7 years is Mick Beale, trying out at the highest level for the first time in his career. And while it's possibly less of a surprise that Rangers are among the pace setters, they have been in the doldrums, relatively speaking, for some time, and promotion for either of these at the end of the season would be a massive shock. The question is, at this stage, can they keep it going? Well, Queen's Park Rangers did win at the leaders Sheffield United on Tuesday by 1-0, but Chris Willock, who scored that goal, is missing with a hamstring injury. That could be a big blow to them, because they tend to be a much better side when he's in the team. Coming in alongside their attackers will be Lyndon Dykes. The other players missing out are Liam Balogun from the back four, so Jake Clark-Salter comes in for him. Luke Amos and Andre Dizelle drop to the bench. The young Aston Villa loanee Tim Arogbenam will make a rare start at the heart of the Rangers midfield alongside Stefan Johansson. Two changes for Reading. Junior Hoylett and Tom Ince, the manager's son, drop to the bench. Lucas Zhao and Andy Yeardom return. We'll give you a full team check in a moment, but the match about to get underway here at Loftus Road. Queen's Park Rangers in their famous blue and white hoops, white shorts and white socks, of course. Reading have had to jettison the hoops here this evening. They are in pink shirts and black shorts. And the football weekend is underway across the Talksport network, with a big one here tonight under the lights in West London in the Championship. Reading looking to go top. Queen's Park Rangers looking to join the leaders at the top of the table as well. And it's live and exclusive to national radio on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2. And Queen's Park Rangers attacking the goal away to our right in the first half, which is the school end, which has been sold out by over 2,000 Reading fans here tonight. And they will have the largest crowd here for a televised game for many, many years. Close to a sellout. Of course, this ground only holds around 18,000, and it's very close to full capacity here this evening. And David Connolly, this could really be a clash of styles as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've just seen QPR try to get the ball into Lyndon Dykes. I think both teams have got a big number 9, but, you know, Andy Carroll is something else. And as soon as Lumley got it in his arms, you know, try to pick out Andy Carroll on the diagonal, and to be honest, got him up the pitch close to the QPR corner flag. And that is in a nutshell how Reading play, even without Andy Carroll. They are very direct, and as we've touched, you know, the stats tell you that they are one of the lowest for this, you know, perceived goals, etc., but they could be top of the table.
They've got the lowest average possession in the Championship, but they have found a way. They've won 7 of their 12 games so far this season. That's despite a few hammerings on the way as well. A reminder of the Queen's Park Rangers team: Dieng in goal, Laird, Dunn, Clark-Salter and Powell the back four, Johansson, Field and Arogbenam in midfield, Chair and Roberts either side of Dykes. Lumley, the former Queen's Park Rangers goalkeeper, is in goal for Reading. Holmes, Hutchinson and McIntyre the back three. Yeardom and Giddis Walker are the wing backs. Hendrick, Laum and Forner behind Carroll and Zhao. And on this near side, Reading are looking to build with the young Forest loanee Tyrese Forner. And it's back to Lumley, and it's long downfield again, looking for Zhao. And with Zhao and Carroll leading the line, there is no lack of height for Reading. As Queen's Park Rangers win it back, it's played wide to this near side, but the pass is overhit looking for Tyler Roberts, and it's out of play away to our right for a goal kick to Reading.
I like he just very narrow there, came in off the left hand side, picked the ball up almost in the centre circle really, and tried to put in the right winger Tyler Roberts. Just a little bit too much pace on the pass. Gone out for a goal kick, and look, Reading won't risk playing out. You know, there's Joe Lumley just making sure his studs are free of any grass, tap them against the post, and this is obviously going to go really long as far as he can up to Andy Carroll.
Nearly 3 minutes played, 0-0 here at Loftus Road. We had torrential rain around 90 minutes before kick-off. It blew in from nowhere. And the pitch got a heavy soaking, but it will be very slick underfoot and maybe a bit slippery as well tonight, as Queen's Park Rangers win a free kick on the far side, which Jake Clark-Salter will take. Has finally left Chelsea now on a permanent basis following numerous loan spells down the years. Long and high, looking for Dykes, but it's cleared away long downfield by Tom Holmes. Very direct once again from Reading, and a high bounce into the arms of Seni Dieng, wearing short sleeves, the Reading goalkeeper, the Queen's Park Rangers goalkeeper, away to our left-hand side. And now a high ball forward again. Cher will be in pursuit, but McIntyre comes across to head the ball away, and now Holmes will find Sam Hutchinson on the far side, a player who was of course in League One with Sheffield Wednesday last season, but one of a number of free signings picked up by Reading, currently under a transfer embargo. They had a 6-point deduction during the previous campaign as well, which almost cost them, as Dunn plays it forward now for Rangers. Cher though losing out to Holmes, and Hendrick, who was on loan here at Queen's Park Rangers from Newcastle last season, finds Guinness Walker on this near side, forward towards Forner, and he just runs out of room beneath us, and Queen's Park Rangers will have a throw-in. 4 minutes played on Talksport 2. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Reading 0, the top of the table at kick-off time. The top two, Sheffield United and Norwich, have 24 points, Reading on 22 and Queen's Park Rangers on 21, with Burnley on 19 points, just behind the two sides involved in action here at Loftus Road on Talksport 2 this evening. Andy Carroll with a typical leap and cushioned header wide to this near side, looking for Nesta Guinness Walker.
Well, Paul Ince just shouting to Lucas Zhao, to make that run into the channel, just a little get-out ball they need. I mean, Mick Beale is not playing into the hands of Paul Ince in terms of trying to play out from the back either. That's a bit naive, I think, at times, thinking, well, you know what, they're just going to try and play the out, and, we'll go and press them high because risk-free football from Reading. No, Mick Beale's not going to do that. He's also going to, not risk losing the ball around his box and play a little bit direct as well. So, smart from Mick Beale at the start of this game from QPR.
Tom Bramwell, the referee, maybe thought about giving a free kick there to Queen's Park Rangers, as Andy Carroll let with Jimmy Dunn on this near side, but play was allowed to continue, and now there is the possibility for a long throw for Reading from this near side. It's flicked on at the near post, fired towards goal through the crowd from Yeardon. The ball comes back to him, there's confusion there, the bodies are piling in, and eventually McIntyre seemed to be caught as he fired towards goal there. There were appeals for a penalty from the Reading fans, who were a long way away from that, but eventually Queen's Park Rangers will scramble clear.
I think it's Clark-Salter here with a brilliant block. I think it's Andy Carroll eventually, maybe he tries to get the little strike. A couple of blocks from QPR players putting their bodies on the line. Terrific block there just outside the 6-yard box.
That is where Reading can be dangerous.
It's a long throw, isn't it, Guinness Walker? They're the threats they have. We spoke at the start how direct they're going to play. All these sorts of restarts, throw-ins, long goal kicks. Here it is on the diagonal again, Carroll.
Carroll's able to leap under no pressure and chest the ball down. It seemed there that Queen's Park Rangers were happy to allow him to leap, and they will try and fight for the second ball. Carroll there was completely unmarked.
That was good play from Andy Carroll, because, QPR dropped off expecting a flick on, instead, no, took it down on his chest and built the play.
Johansson now clears for Queen's Park Rangers. Cher off and running for the first time. He's got space, a low shot from him, right-footed, took a deflection, did it? No, goal kick's been given in the end, and Queen's Park Rangers can't believe it.
I just wonder where Tyler Roberts is running here, because it's a 3-on-3, and what he does, Tyler Roberts, he actually closes the space down. Elias Cher is driving through the middle of the pitch, and Tyler Roberts has just got to keep his width, make the area as big as possible. Instead he closes it up. There's nowhere really for Elias Cher to go, or the pass isn't really onto Roberts. In the end he shoots from outside the box, and might have been a corner, maybe took a little nick off a Reading defender.
But a goal kick's been given. Joe Lumley will take it. Came through the academy here at Queen's Park Rangers, was at Middlesbrough last season, and he was taken there by the former Rangers manager Neil Warnock.
Well, again, that kick from Lumley has QPR defenders have dropped off to the edge of their box, but it's barely, I wouldn't say barely got over the halfway line, but it's dropped about 15 yards over the halfway line, and they're just too deep, QPR. They're just thinking, right, it's going to reach Carroll close to our box. He's going to flick it on in our box, and we need to pick up the second pieces, when in fact, Lumley's getting nowhere near that sort of distance. They just need to squeeze up the pitch a little bit, because otherwise Rangers will just become too deep. They'll become too deep without the ball.
Now Jimmy Dunn, wide to this near side, and the ponytailed Johansson. And he almost beckons Fornard towards him to make the challenge, and then plays it back towards Dunn again. And Queen's Park Rangers under Mick Beale have already looked to try and paint up this passing style through the thirds. Of course, he was part of Liverpool's academy as a coach for many years before becoming Steven Gerrard's assistant with both Rangers and Aston Villa. Then he was given the opportunity to go on his own, as Rangers have it on this near side. And it's a nice move in field from Parle down the right, breaks towards the edge of the penalty area, now inside the penalty area, high cross to the far post, over the head of Dykes, headed away by Hutchinson, regathered by Chair, now Irogbenam, and Chair again, who really is the creative hub for Queen's Park Rangers. 5 assists so far this season, nobody has had more in the Championship. But it's good defending from Reading. They're forcing Queen's Park Rangers back as a block, and as they gradually move forward, Rangers just have to retreat, and Laird goes back in field towards Clark Salter. Now Dunn on the halfway line. Field. Laird holding his position down the left. Now he makes the run in behind. He wasn't spotted though by Chair. Chair instead goes square to Johansson, 25 yards out. Maybe opened up for the shot, but he was quickly closed down by Guinness Walker. And in the end, Lucas João has been fouled by Field, and it will be a free kick to Reading. But at the moment, Reading are nullifying Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, look, this will be the challenge, in terms of trying to break down this Reading team. We'll drop back in. It is a back three, but in effect becomes a back five, doesn't it? Yedom is normally playing one of those centre-half positions anyway, right-sided one, and Guinness Walker. So, that's the challenge for Rangers. They've got to attack quickly when they get it back.
Nodded down by Dykes. Roberts just losing out, and it's flicked forward by Carroll towards the edge of the penalty area. And now Laird in field again to Field, who tidies up and gets a smattering of applause from the home supporters. 11 minutes played here at Loftus Road on Talksport 2. Goalless between the teams, 4th and 3rd in the Championship table at the start of play. As Laird comes forward again on this near side, in field towards Field. And Laird has the opportunity to try and break towards the penalty area, shimmies away from the initial challenge, and then plays it down the line for Irogbenam. His cross into the penalty area falls kindly for Roberts with the shot, and it's a really good save by Lumley. It broke kindly to Tyler Roberts inside the penalty area, side foot finish, and Lumley must have seen it late and got down really well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think he would have seen it late. Great save. Roberts just wanted to open his body up enough to try and bend this into the far corner, but Lumley got down really well, low, excellent one-handed save there from the Reading goalkeeper.
Only 3 clean sheets in 11 games so far for Joe Lumley, and it's been a strange season in so many ways for Reading. As we've been saying, they've been beaten 4-0 by both Rotherham and Sheffield United. They were really embarrassed at home by Sunderland by 3-0, but no one has won more games in the Championship than they have so far this season. And that match against Norwich, which finished 1-1 on Tuesday night, their first draw of the season. And you look at Queen's Park Rangers' form, 13 of their 21 points so far have come away from home, and they've also found goals difficult to score, with only 17 in their 12 games so far. But they have won 3 successive games on the road at Millwall, Bristol City and Sheffield United. And in what's been a season with a number of oddities, Sedi Dieng also scored for them, that dramatic late equaliser in the draw-up at Sunderland at the start of August. Now done for Queen's Park Rangers. 13 minutes played here on Talksport 2. 0-0. Clark Salter, high over the top, looking for Dykes. Cut out, though, by Guinness Walker. But now Field will gather. Forward again by Irobagum. He gets it back from Roberts, and Johansson will take over down the Queen's Park Rangers left. Here is Chair, shuffling in field. Roberts does well to outmuscle the initial challenge from Guinness Walker, and now it's transferred wide towards Johansson. Early cross into the penalty area. Volley clear by Tom Holmes up to the halfway line, and Reading repel once again.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, second or third time now, for example, the likes of Tom Holmes has just cleared the ball long, doesn't mind whacking it back down QPR's throat, so go on and have another attack. At times I think he could have maybe controlled that one and then built a Reading attack, but risk-free football here from Reading, willing to just sit in, absorb.
Chair again shuffles away from the challenge of Guinness Walker, but he heads into traffic and it's cleared away by Hutchinson. Lucas Zhao stretching out a telescopic leg to bring the ball down, but he was quickly challenged by Field, and it's kept in play on the far side by Clark Salter, and Queen's Park Rangers will try and get moving once again, and there's a far less frenetic air about their play as Laird plays it down the line for Irobagam. Infield towards the edge of the penalty area, and Dykes, who was looking for the space for the shot, now finds Roberts. He lets fly left-footed. It's blocked by the backside of Holmes. Spins out to the left-hand side where it's regathered by Johansson. Now Chair.
He's looked really sharp, Tyler Roberts, hasn't he? Whenever the ball has come into his feet, he's always worked a little half yard. His footwork looks fantastic in tight little areas. He's not really hugging the line, is he? Although he's playing out wide, you know, often he almost comes in as a sort of second centre forward, really, doesn't he, up alongside Dykes?
He's a player that maybe throughout his career, and he's now 23 years of age, no one's been quite sure where his best position is. Is he he's not a goal-scoring centre forward because he doesn't score goals, so is he a wide player? But if you play him wide, maybe you're missing his best attributes in the centre of the field.
Well, I mean, you know, I think he is a wide man, but they look to just try and get him on the ball a little bit more centrally as well at times, and leave that space out wide for Ethan Laird. I mean, he's going to raid down this right-hand side. Wingers come infield. It's kind of the modern way of playing, really, I guess.
Don't forget, Game Day Live on Talksport tomorrow with Adrian Durham from the earlier time of 1 o'clock, with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League, the EFL and beyond. On Talksport 2 tomorrow, Manchester City against Southampton is the 3 o'clock commentary with Ian Danta and Chris Awellamo. And we also have a Sunday night game coming up on Talksport, Everton against Manchester United at 7 o'clock on Sunday with Mickey Gray and Sam Matterface. And on Monday night we also have, live from the City Ground, Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa.
I tell you what, Rangers doing really well, because the ball went into Andy Carroll. He won the first one, which you'd expect him to do. It's almost impossible to stop him doing that. Let's just see this run through. But then they go and pick up the second one, and you know, one presses from behind, one in front. They pick up the second ball, and Rangers got possession again.
And it's 1-1 in the air by Dunn on the far side, and he now plays it wide to Parl. A short pass in field to Johansson. And Reading at the moment are being given time to regroup every time they lose possession. But here is Irobagam looking to maybe change that with some quicker movement wide to the far side. Field had the opportunity to try and play in Dykes over the top, but instead goes short towards Chair. Roberts makes progress towards him, and the 1-2 almost opens up some space for Chair, but instead he goes square towards this near side where Dunn finds Laird, who comes in field, almost pokes it through to Dykes on the edge of the penalty area, and it was a good challenge by a sprawling Holmes to prevent that happening, and it's cleared downfield by McIntyre up towards the halfway line. 17 minutes played on Talksport 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Reading 0 at the top of the EFL Championship, and here are the thoughts of David Connolly so far.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of gone to script, right, in terms of Rangers having an awful lot of the ball, and Reading just trying to absorb, sit it in, and when they get it back, try and hit Andy Carroll and Lucas Zhao up top, and but there hasn't really been that many clear-cut openings so far, just that one from Roberts.
Chair with the cross in high to the far post, skims off the head of Dykes, volleyed through the penalty area in the end by Irobagam. Won back well, though, by a sliding Tyler Roberts to win it back from Andy Carroll. And it's quickly played wide towards the left-hand side. But again, Queen's Park Rangers maybe had the opportunity to move the ball with a bit more pace, and they just chose to hold things up, and they retreat towards the halfway line, and they will regroup and try again. Now Chair into the path of Parle, and Chair takes over once again. And Jimmy Dunn now on the halfway line for Queen's Park Rangers. Johansson, Reading have every single player back in their own half defending as Laird brings it forward, finding Chair now on the edge of the penalty area, shifts it to the right hand side, back in field to the left, high cross to the far post, nodded down, appeals for handball as it strikes Hutchinson. In the end it is shovelled behind by Lumley, and it will be the game's first corner. Heroic Bonham is claiming handball against Hutchinson, but it's only a corner kick.
Yeah, to me, I don't know, it looked like...
Oh, yeah, that's handball.
Like it did come off his hand.
Well, that's a clear handball. If we had VAR, that would be a penalty after the first viewing.
His arm was outstretched, it clearly came off his hand, and Robenham has a point. I mean, they've got a lot of technical players, Rangers, haven't they? You know, they look really good on the ball. It's just whether they got something, you know, to break down this defence. Johansson
with the cross into the penalty area. Andy Carroll rising 3 yards out to head the ball clear, and it bounces all the way up towards the halfway line. Here is Laird now with space ahead of him down the right. It's quickly closed down by Fornah. Roberts throws a couple of shapes and evades McIntyre, drifts across into the area where it's claimed by Lumley. Of course, we are a VAR-free zone in the Championship, and often we say that's a good thing, but Queen's Park Rangers will disagree there.
Well, absolutely, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, those little decisions could have a real bearing on where you end up in a, you know...
He didn't quite take the stitching out, but pretty close to it.
Yep.
20 minutes played. Sam Hutchinson walked away from that with the air of a man who believed he may have got away with one, and I think he did. 0-0 here. Queen's Park Rangers with 76% of the possession so far, but that's no real surprise in Reading's season. We know how they play, and at times it can be very effective. And Hutchinson now on the far side will try wing in another long throw towards the near post, but the referee blows the whistle before it's taken, and Hutchinson will get another opportunity.
I think he's just trying to steal a few yards here, so the referee's going to bring him back.
I think he's actually...
Well, he stole a few yards, he should have been taking it from where the referee's indicating, and he didn't.
And in the end, he's gone short. And here is Tom McIntyre on the halfway line, pressurised by Dykes. And now Holmes with a high diagonal ball forward. Carroll will leap and again brings the ball down on the chest and neatly lays it wide towards Guinness Walker, who can break towards the edge of the penalty area, and the low ball is driven in towards that near post. Did it take a deflection? No, it didn't, and a corner kick has been avoided by Queen's Park Rangers, and Diane can clear downfield once again.
Yeah, it's just a really bad ball in from Fornah. You go back to Reading, as soon as Holmes got it there in the middle of the pitch, all he wanted to do was give it back to his centre half to play on the diagonal up to Andy Carroll. Superb centre forward play from him on his chest, fed it wide. And you just need that little bit of quality. Nice back heel from Guinness Walker, and then Fornah in the box, bit of composure, you know, because you've worked really hard to get in this position, broke into the box. Can you pick someone out? He's got a front two there. Andy Carroll pulled off in a nice position. He's got Lucas Zhao. Instead he shoots at the near post. I mean, awful decision from Fornah.
22 minutes played, 0-0 here, also goalless. Not too far from here at Wembley, between England and the USA in the Women's International, the European champions against the world champions, as Robenham has been fouled on the far side, and it will be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. More Champions League action coming up across the Talksport 2 network this week. Tuesday at 5:45 we have the second half of the double headers from this week, and we start with Copenhagen against Manchester City with Alex Crook and Matt Holland, and then also 7:45 Wigan against Blackburn. England have now taken the lead against the United States. Lauren Hemp with the goal there, and she's seeming to specialise in high-profile goals at the moment. Wigan against Blackburn from the Championship will be on Talksport 2, 7:45 on Tuesday with Ian Danzer and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Over on Talksport at 8 o'clock, Milan against Chelsea with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. And then on Wednesday night we have Barcelona against Inter on Talksport 2 with Ian Danter and Danny Mills. On Thursday in the Europa League, Bodo Glimt against Arsenal with Alex Crook and Alvin Martin. Now Johansson for Queen's Park Rangers out on the left-hand side. The cross in towards the near post is blocked by Yeardom, and it will be a throw-in to Rangers, taken quickly. Now Kenneth Paal, the Suriname international, and he has been fouled by Yeardom, and it will be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. And I think one thing we can be sure of is that they won't lump this high into the penalty area, although they have scored more goals from crosses than any other team so far this season, but they don't put too many crosses into the penalty area. The ones they put in tend to be of a very high quality.
Well, they didn't put one in there that was a high quality. Johansson, a brilliant little bit of skill here from Arobanan to get free in around the halfway line. Great ball out to Johansson on the left wing, who's playing a lot higher than I've seen him before. He just needed a nice ball into Lyndon Dykes, and he was cut out at the near, but let's see if they can do better here from the free kick.
Johansson flights it high towards the near post, almost drops to Arogbonam as Clark Salter leapt, but here is Johansson again. A high ball this time. Two Queen's Park Rangers players rather go for the same ball. Dykes gets in the way of Dunn, and Reading will clear. Here is Laird, who has turned into trouble. Lucas Zhao almost wins it back, but Laird is quick enough to recover. The Manchester United loanee had a very good season on loan in the Championship with Swansea and Bournemouth last season, and it's quickly transferred wide towards Arogbonam on the far side. He has been chopped down, and it will be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers, and the game's first yellow card for Sam Hutchinson.
Well, Arogbonam's been another one of those players, really technical, excellent with the ball at his feet, tries a little give and go, one touch pass infield, and Sam Hutchinson with the foul. I mean, they've got a lot of them Rangers, some players who look really, really good. They're going to make a change, I think it's Ethan Laird that's struggling.
Yeah, Ethan Laird is coming off, and Osman Kaikai, the Sierra Leone international, is coming on. So that is a blow to them, because Laird has been very effective down the right-hand side so far this season.
He has, maybe just tweaked something, and maybe a little muscle maybe, but there's a blow, yeah, that's for sure.
25 minutes played, goalless here at Loftus Road on Talksport 2. Johansson will take the free kick. High towards the far post once again. Nodded down by Dunn, but outside the penalty area. Hendrick will volley the ball away, and it's controlled by Paal. Left-footed ball forward from him, and it's a dreadful delivery. One bounce into the arms of Joe Lumley.
Disappointing. I mean, he's on the right-hand side of the pitch. Normally he operates on the left, so just try to open his foot at a different angle on the diagonal, but it's a poor ball in.
But Tim Arogbonam has really taken the eye so far. Of course, Mick Beale would have known him very well following his time at Aston Villa. Or as Lucas Zhao chases a high ball into the penalty area, which was sliced back towards his own goalkeeper by Clark Salter. And of course, Aston Villa have produced so many fine players through their academy in recent years, and Arogbonam is part of that generation, and he will learn so much during his time here in the Championship. Although he was a fairly recent addition to the Villa Academy after starting life with West Bromwich Albion. And here he is on the ball now on this near side, and he looks very comfortable on the ball, doesn't he? And he's always looking for options and playing with his head up.
Yeah, he looks excellent. He's got good movement, always trying to show for it, and he's got fantastic feet. Another one, the same with, it's a Tyler Roberts and Elias Shea. They've got a lot of, Johansson on the ball here, a lot of really good technical players, Rangers. And they've got that added skill to them, I think, as well.
Here is Dunn, wide to this near side, and Kaikai hasn't started a game since the draw up at Sunderland. Arogbonam takes over once again into the feet of Roberts, who's allowed to turn, threads it down the line right-hand side, looking for Kaikai, who is quick, but not that quick, and it's cleared away up towards the halfway line once again by Joe Lumley. And now Roberts with an interesting back pass, hoisted high towards his own goal, but in the end Paul comes across just to guide it back towards Seni Dieng.
And the attacks keep coming from Rangers. They just have to keep doing what they're doing, shifting it nice and early. Plenty of movement. Elias Chair just dropping in. He's almost dropping in alongside his centre halves here to try and get on the ball, disrupt the Reading defence, which is going to be a challenge for them, that's for sure.
Rangers finished 13th, 9th and 11th under Mark Warburton, and of course he was the latest manager to deal with their financial problems and their wage bill. As there's a break into the penalty area here, Lucas Yao spins away from the first challenge, he goes down and a penalty is being given, and moments after Reading should have conceded a penalty at one end, they've been awarded one at the other. Lucas Yao with some very quick feet inside the penalty area, his legs were taken from him from Arogbenam, and Reading have a penalty.
Yeah, I think Arogbenam's trying to atone for his error here, loses the ball in his own half, and then this is what Reading have been hoping for. Ball breaks, comes into Lucas Yao, receives it in the box, fakes to shoot, great disguise. He gets the ball middle of the box, his right arm comes up in the air like he's going to shoot, then he chops back in field, and Arogbenam goes to ground, and he just seems to catch Lucas Yao's foot, and on first viewing it does look like it is a penalty.
And we welcome listeners from Talksport to Loftus Road, where it's goalless between Queen's Park Rangers and Reading, but Reading have just been awarded a penalty, a foul on Lucas Yao by Tim Arogbenam, and Andy Carroll will take it for Reading in his second spell at the club. Reading looking to go top of the table this evening. Andy Carroll steps up, left-footed, makes no mistake, high over Seni Dieng, and Reading take the lead in controversial circumstances. Queen's Park Rangers should have had a penalty at one end. Reading broke downfield, they get one at the other. Andy Carroll made no mistake, and the Royals could be heading top of the table.
Yeah, it's just typical Reading. I mean, Rangers have had all the ball, all the play. They lose possession in their own half. First time we've seen Reading at all in Rangers' box, and they've got a penalty. You've got to say Tim Arogbenam has been excellent, lost possession, tried to atone for it, get back, made a diving lunge on Lucas Yao, great bit of skill to duck inside him. It was a penalty, he did make contact with Lucas Yao's foot, and Andy Carroll does the rest.
And the 2,000 Reading fans away to our right are jubilant. They will have had a very good view of Sam Hutchinson's handball at the other end of the stadium. That wasn't given, but Reading were given a spot kick at the other end, and Andy Carroll has scored. Commentary continues on Talksport 2 at Loftus Road. It is Queen's Park Rangers 0, Reading 1. And if you're Queen's Park Rangers, you're absolutely sick.
Yeah, you sucker punch. This is Reading's game plan. This is what they are hoping for. That, you risk the ball in your own half, you lose it, and then with the two up top, they've always got two focal points to play into, and all they need is a runner off that, and it's exactly what happened, and got into the area, and we've only seen it, Forner had a strike that was wide. That was the only time they've been in the box, and that was the second time. It came from a loss of possession, which, it'll be frustrating, but it's not something we didn't cover in the build-up. You knew that this was how Reading were going to set up and play, and it's worked out for them again.
A smoke bomb has been let off in the upper tier of the school end away to our right-hand side, but the Reading fans in great voice now, and they are singing about heading up the Football League. We'll see what happens in the long term, but there's no doubt they could be heading top of the table here tonight, leading by a 0-0, and Reading's issues on the road this season have been considerable at times. Their two successes, 1-0 at Millwall and Wigan, but they're playing a Queen's Park Rangers team who have beaten Middlesbrough and Hull at home, and also lost to Blackpool, a team who are now in the lower reaches of the table, as Field has been fouled by Carroll on the far side, and it will be a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers, and they will be very, very frustrated by what has happened during this first half. There's a high ball, it's played into the penalty area. Lyndon Dykes with a diving header, and Queen's Park Rangers weren't level for long. Lyndon Dykes with a terrific response diving in before Hutchinson to guide the header low beyond Lumley. And moments after Reading had taken the lead, Queen's Park Rangers are level thanks to Lyndon Dykes, 1-1.
Well, it's brilliant wing play here from Tyler Roberts. Gets it out wide, a couple of step overs, just shifts it half a yard and puts in a fantastic ball. It's almost on the penalty spot, and Lyndon Dykes just gets across his man. Terrific downward header. I think he uses a bit of the wetness of the grass. It skids off the turf and bounces into that far corner. Oh, it's Osman Kaikai. I thought it was actually Tyler Roberts. It was Kaikai. Brilliant from the substitute.
Well, Lyndon Dykes with only his second goal of the season, and in the absence of Chris Willock, he has been brought into the side this evening, and he has justified the inclusion. It's also 1-1 at Wembley. The USA have equalised against England in the Women's International. But Queen's Park Rangers will believe that justice has been done. They were only behind for 3 minutes.
Well, super play from Osman Kaikai. If you're a centre-forward like Lyndon Dykes, that's what you want. You know, you want an early ball in the box. And we spoke moments ago about Johansson maybe not getting his cross into the box, and Osman Kaikai did there. Great finish as well from Dykes.
And suddenly this game has burst into life on Talksport 2. 11 minutes to play in the first half, and it's Queen's Park Rangers 1, Reading 1. Andy Carroll with the penalty, and Lyndon Dykes with the equaliser for Queen's Park Rangers. Well, Erogbanan plays it forward, and Holmes with the back pass all the way back towards Lumley. Long downfield again. Zhao will leap for it, but he's beaten to it by Dunn. And on this near side, Holmes comes across and makes good distance with the clearance, but it will be a throw-in for Queen's Park Rangers, which we can't see beneath us here down the Rangers' right-hand side. And Paul Ince, I think, will be mightily annoyed by that, because his team stayed in the game, took their chance when it came, and from his point of view, he'll be wondering why the cross was allowed to be delivered and travelled such a long way, and why nobody challenged Lyndon Dykes when it arrived on his head.
Well, it's just really good movement, you've got to say, and the ball in was outstanding from Osman Kaikai. I mean, look, they have had nearly 80% of the ball, Rangers, so, you know, they are going to craft one or two opportunities, but look, Reading here got a throw. Guinness Walker's probably going to launch this in the box.
Guinness Walker, the former Wimbledon player, goes short this time to Fornah. Back to Guinness Walker again, and Fornah has lost out, miscontrolled, and Roberts can bring it forward now down the Rangers' right-hand side. He's got Chair in field all the way into the penalty area. Roberts, there's a miss kick inside the box, and goodness me, they were very, very fortunate there, Reading. The ball was played low across the penalty area, and there was a complete miss kick by Mamadou Loam as the ball was about to drop towards Elias Chair, and the Royals got away with it.
Oh, they did. I mean, Tyler Roberts, he is so quick. They're not going to catch him on the break, and he broke into the box. I thought he was going to shoot, but I think it's the right decision. Cut the ball back. It was just unlucky. Ball just fell behind Chair and Lyndon Dykes, who'd finally caught up with Tyler Roberts. I mean, he is rapid. I tell you what, it looks like, has Hutchinson gone down here? I think he has.
Hutchinson, who is the right-sided central defender, is the player who has gone down on the far side. Seems to be a problem with his left knee. Of course, he initially came through the academy at Chelsea and retired from football due to persistent injury problems, and then came back into the game and was most recently with Sheffield Wednesday. Could not keep them in the Championship or help them back into League One last season. And Hutchinson already had some sort of strapping on his right knee, and the player who should have given away a penalty early on but didn't, or wasn't seen by the match officials, is now receiving treatment on the far side.
Well, they certainly got one decision right, and that is the penalty on Lucas Zhao, because certainly didn't make contact there. But yeah, Hutchinson is a lucky boy. It did come off his hand despite wagging his finger. I just wonder if he might have pulled his calf or something like that here. I mean, he's got a pretty bandaged up lower leg anyway. Looks like he is struggling to continue.
37 minutes played here on Talksport 2, 1-1, and a change is about to be made, and Junior Hoylett will be coming on, so presumably he will play as the wing back, and Andy Yeardom will move into the centre.
Yeah, that's how they've often set up, so not too much will change, I don't think, for Reading.
So Sam Hutchinson has had an eventful first half. Should have given away a penalty, got booked, and is now heading off injured. And he will make the long walk around the outside of the pitch in front of the Reading supporters on the far side. A reminder, coming up tomorrow, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham on Talksport. There are no early kickoffs tomorrow. The first action will be on Talksport 2, Manchester City against Southampton at 3 o'clock in the Premier League. And then we have a Sunday night game, 7 o'clock kickoff at Goodison Park. Big game as well. Everton against Manchester United with Mickey Gray and Sam Matterface alongside Adrian Durham. And Forest against Villa on Monday. Sam will be alongside Danny Murphy for that game. Changes made for Reading, so changes to both sides in the first half, with Kai coming on to replace Laird for Queen's Park Rangers, and the change will mean that Yeardom goes into the centre and Hoylett will play down the right hand side. The Canadian international, another former Queen's Park Rangers player in this Reading team. Under pressure on the far side, Holmes slices the clearance out of play. Lyndon Dykes was all over him, and it will be a throw into Queen's Park Rangers a couple of yards from the corner flag down their left.
I tell you, that's a big goal for Lyndon Dykes as well, you know, because he's been amongst the goals for Scotland. It hasn't really been, he's got one in the last 20 for Rangers, an injury sort of hit, and that'll be huge for him. If they can get him firing and confident and scoring goals, what a weapon he will be for Rangers.
He scored 8 times last season, but he scored as many goals for Scotland as he has for Queen's Park Rangers this season. And of course Chris Willock has been their talisman with 6 goals in 9 games as Rangers try and build now with Chair down the left hand side, and he whips across into the penalty area, headed away though almost on the ground by Loam, the one-time Senegalese international on loan from Porto. Here is Kai, who made the goal for Queen's Park Rangers. His ball forward is blocked by Guinness Walker, who does well there.
Well, he was just looking for an angle out wide, but because Tyler Roberts is the winger, but he's playing infield, you know, he didn't really have an option wide, so his pass was easily blocked there, Kai.
It's now England 2, the USA 2 at Wembley. Georgie Stanway with a penalty scored England's second goal. As a long ball is played forward again for Queen's Park Rangers, and Fornaro wins it back for Reading, and here is Carroll, and Hendrick has time to lay it wide to the far side, and Hoylett, 1 or 2 boos for the former Rangers player, but his ball down the line is a poor one. It's cut out by Dunn, but Dunn runs it straight out of play. Zhao was the player who was causing him problems, and Rangers have the potential for a long throw here, although of course Hutchinson is now off the field.
Yeah, I mean, look, Andy Carroll's got his arms on his hips because he did really well initially in and around the halfway line, set the ball up, it went wide of Junior Hoylett, he spun towards the back post, and then he wants the ball delivered. You know, instead Hoylett tries to play Zhao in down the line. It's a bad pass, but you know, give the ball into Carroll, that's what he wants, give him service.
And the ball now bobbles out of play on the far side, off Clark Salter, and it will be a corner kick to Reading. And they can be so effective from set pieces. 1-1 here with 42 minutes played at Loftus Road, 2-2 at Wembley. And for fans making their way to the ground here today, a sellout crowd at Wembley certainly created traffic issues on the M40 and the M4. Corner kick in the shadows on the far side for Reading.
Well, they're really marking Andy Carroll closely. The referee's just coming having a word. They're double teaming on him here. It looks like Johansson and one more.
And Carroll then goes down, but I think he was twisting and turning so much, he did that himself. Now it's high to the far post. It was over the head of Dieng and eventually nodded behind by Dunn, and it was heading towards Andy Carroll. Really good delivery, and that is the value of Andy Carroll in this team.
Absolutely, yeah. Double teaming Rangers on him. You know, you've got to do something to try and stop him. He is so good in the air. Obviously got a mix of man-to-man markers, Rangers and zone. Also, those man-to-man have got to really try and hold him up, hold his runs up.
Tyrese Fornah will take the corner now for Reading on this near side. Whipped in towards the near post again. Headed away by Dykes. Hoylett now brings it down 20 yards out, but he's been challenged by Chair, and eventually he is forced back towards the halfway line. Yeardon will tidy up and go all the way back towards Lumley. Lumley takes a touch and then clears downfield right-footed up towards the halfway line. Dunn with another towering header for Queen's Park Rangers. But here is Fornah down the right-hand side for Reading, but his ball goes straight into touch beyond Andy Carroll, and Carroll was saying, look, knock it into the channel and give me a chance.
I mean, one thing I have noticed with this Rangers back line, they're not squeezing as high up the pitch as they were at times under Mark Warburton. I mean, when they defended that corner, they got up the pitch, ball went back to the opposition goalie, and they were still 15 yards from their own box. Now, if that was under Mark Warburton, they would be squeezing as close, as high up the pitch, you know, to halfway line as possible and playing a really high line. Look, maybe up against someone like Andy Carroll and Lucas Zhao, you want to be a bit deeper, so there's no space when they do flick the ball in behind, but different sort of tactic than Mick built.
That second goal for USA has been disallowed by VAR. So England lead by 2-1 thanks to Lauren Hemp and the penalty from Georgia Stanway. Now Carroll with a high challenge on this near side. The cards are out very quickly, and it's a yellow card for Andy Carroll. Tyler Roberts is flat out just in front of the two technical areas. Players from both sides begin to mill around. It was certainly robust from Andy Carroll, scything down Roberts, and it's only a yellow card.
Well, he claims he got the ball here, but he got a piece of the man as well, and I mean, a bit of frustration. I think this comes from, you know, a couple of times when he hasn't had the ball in the box and he's wanted it, so yeah, a certain foul though.
Second yellow card for Reading, the first to Sam Hutchinson. There's an apology
Fair
from
play
Andy
to
Carroll.
Osman Kaikai. He's about half Andy Carroll's size, but steaming into him, you know, to support his teammate. He's a brave boy.
Roberts looks to be okay.
I don't think there'll be too many to take Andy Carroll on, to be honest.
No, Mick Beale is smiling, the Rangers manager, and play gets back underway. We are into a minimum of 2 added minutes at the end of the first half here on Talksport 2. 1-1, good game. Now Kaikai coming forward again for Rangers down the right-hand side. Another cross into the penalty area, in towards the near post, and Roberts went for one of those audacious clipped finishes on the run, and it's high and wide.
Yeah, he's unlucky. But the good thing about Osman Kaikai since he's come on, you know, he hasn't tried to complicate his game, unlike, say, Junior Hoylett, who has. Every time it's come to Kaikai, first thought is touch, get it in the box. Whereas Hoylett a couple of times come to him, not sure, dwelled on the ball, lost it, dwelled on the ball, played it out wide, hasn't put the ball in the box. And I'm sure Andy Carroll looks on, and I bet at half-time he says, look, you do what.
But Hoylett's always been that sort of player, isn't he? He's always been a dribbler. He's always been a sort of almost taking on the socks and looking down towards the ground.
Yeah, but when you've got a front two that they have, they need the ball in the box.
Now Carroll brings it down again, and he lays it wide to this near side. He's had a very good game so far, Andy Carroll, alongside the penalty he scored, his first goal of the season, back at Reading. McIntyre goes all the way back to Lumley. Clears downfield right-footed again. Zhao will leap this time, but it's headed away by Dunn, who has been one of the dominant players for Queen's Park Rangers due to the number of high balls he's managed to nod clear. Now Irogbanam will clip it forward looking for Chair, but it's cut out by Holmes, and that's half-time. Applause all around the stadium for both sets of players who have given us a very entertaining 45 minutes here. Reading taking the lead on the half hour. The foul on Lucas Zhao by Tim Arogbenam, and the penalty scored by Andy Carroll. Minutes before, Sam Hutchinson should have been penalised inside the Reading area for handball, but he wasn't. But Queen's Park Rangers' sense of aggrievement only lasted 3 minutes. Excellent cross in by Osman Kaikai, matched by the diving header from Lyndon Dykes. At half-time, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Reading 1. And it's Reading who will get the second half underway in their pink shirts, black shorts, against Queen's Park Rangers in the blue and white hoops. And Rangers defending the school end away to our left-hand side. 16,656 is the crowd, with just under 2,000 Reading fans here tonight, and in a stadium which is very tight, compact and intimate. They've generated a really good atmosphere, both sets of supporters so far, David Connolly, and I think it's really helped the game.
Absolutely, it's been a great game so far. You know, I think a lot of expectation now, isn't there, with Rangers? Well, not expectation in terms of winning every week, but I think it's just a good place to be at the minute. You know, certainly results are going their way, and good thing is they weren't behind for long there.
Guinness Walker lifts a high ball into the penalty area, controlled by Lucas Zhao, but then it's cleared away up to the halfway line by Dunn, who had a very busy first half at the heart of the Queen's Park Rangers defence, trying to look after Andy Carroll, who is now pulling away onto the challenge of Usman Kaikai at the far post. Now he retreats into a central area as Reading try and build in the wide position themselves, but it's cleared away by Tyler Roberts, and Reading will have a throw-in. Quickly, the Rangers team, Dieng in goal. It's now Kaikai, Dunn, Clark Salter and Parle at the back after the injury to Laird. Johansson, Field and Arogbenam in midfield, with Chair and Roberts either side of Dykes. A long throw here from Guinness Walker in towards the near post, and it's attacked well by Clark Salter, and Guinness Walker may get another opportunity to hurl this ball in from wide on the left-hand side.
Let's see if he can reach the 6-yard box. That'll be his challenge here, as close to it as he can get. He can.
Carroll makes the run to the near post, but Clark Salter was on his heels once again to make that leap and clear the ball away, but it's boomed onto the roof of the Stamboul stand on the far side by Tyler Roberts, and it will be a third successive long throw here from Nestor Guinness Walker.
Well, you say Tyler Roberts, clear it downfield.
High into the 6-yard area once again. This time it's flicked on. Zhao with a looping header, and it's on to the roof of the netting. The Reading team again, Lumley in goal. And now a back three of Holmes, McIntyre and Yeardom after the injury to Hutchinson. Hoylett has come on as one of the wing-backs. Guinness Walker is on the left, and it's Henrik, Loam and Fornar in midfield. Carroll and Zhao in attack.
Yeah, you just wonder at some point if they keep making clearances like that, Rangers, one of those long throws will cost them. You know, if you're a winger back defending, just try and clear your lines, get the ball up the pitch, maybe not out for a throw.
And we've had goals from two number 9 so far, Lyndon Dykes and Andy Carroll, albeit he's wearing number 2. As it's brought forward by Fornar on the far side. Again the challenge comes in, but again it's another long throw opportunity for Guinness Walker, and that's been the major feature of the opening 3 minutes of the second half so far.
Yeah, this is where they need to get their marking right, because often these throws are falling a little bit short, so marking in front from Rangers, in front of Andy Carroll, important, and behind.
Into that near post club once again, nodded clear this time by Dykes, controlled by Tyrese Fornar, all the way back to the halfway line, where Holmes lays it wide to this near side, and Hoylett, who skips in field, back to Yeardom, and a good ball into the channel, flicked on by Hendrick for Hoylett, who delivers a cross on the run into the penalty area, and it was a good cross as well, but it's cleared at the near post by Dunn, because he was aware that Lucas Zhao was lurking with intent, but it will be a throw into Reading, who are at the moment heading the home side back.
Yeah, they've started well, haven't they, this second half?
Mamadou Loam with a long raking ball wide to the left, taken down well by Nestor Guinness Walker. He will try and take on Kaikai into the penalty area, but his pocket has been picked by Arogbenam. Good pace from him. He finds Roberts. Roberts was crunched by Loam, and it will be a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers inside the centre circle, but no card this time from Tom Bramwell.
Well, Paul is furious. He doesn't feel that was a foul. not inclined to agree with him, and they turned the ball over, and actually they had a couple of players spare here, QPR on their left-hand side, and I'm not too sure there was much wrong with that from Loam. I think he just slipped Tyler Roberts. Just a poor pass in the end.
Now Clark Salter on this near side, the Rangers left, high over the top, looking for Chair, but Chair shrugged and gave that one up even before the ball had arrived as it went through towards Joe Lonely. It's the 100th meeting in all competitions between these two tonight. Queen's Park Rangers won 4-0 here last season when Lyndon Dykes scored twice, but really that was the start of their slump in many ways, because they had a real chance of making the playoffs at least, or possibly even the top two, but they finished with only 2 wins in their final 11 games, losing 7 of those, and Mark Warburton very quickly departed. Now Holmes is forced back towards Lumley again, who clears downfield under pressure from Dykes. Carroll again with a great leap, and he brings the ball down on his chest, and he's so good at that, Andy Carroll, bringing the ball down in mid-air, and a fairly desperate challenge comes in from field, and he catches Carroll, and it will be a free kick to Reading.
Well, also Lucas Zhao, I think, here feels that he had maybe an elbow in his face. Let's just see this. It's a bit clumsy, isn't it? Oh, it looks a bit from 2 Rangers players there.
Well, it was done initially with the elbow on Zhao, and then Carroll brought the ball down and he was caught by Field.
Yeah.
But it's a free kick for Reading, midway inside the Queen's Park Rangers half.
And that is how they disrupt you, right? Nice. You know, Reading, long balls in the air, breaks down, second balls. You know, it's a hard way to sort of start to play against, that's for sure.
But already we can see in this game, if they can keep Andy Carroll fit, and it's a big if, he will have a real factor in the championship. Now Giddis Walker with the free kick into the penalty area, cleared away as far as Carroll, who nods it back into the 6-yard box. Challenging for it was Zhao, and in the end it bobbles behind. The Reading fans behind that goal want a corner, but a goal kick has been given.
Yeah, and I was just talking to one of the Reading members of staff there, and he's only here till January, isn't he? So, you know, what will happen after that? Fingers crossed he stays fit until then, and, you know, they have a bit longer. He looks to be moving pretty well out there, though, doesn't he?
Well, he's only played more than 20 league games in a season 4 times in his career, and he's now 33. When you think he was around as a 18, 19-year-old at Newcastle, that is a lot of football he has missed. But he's fit at the moment, and he's playing well for Reading, and as far as they're concerned, and as far as he's concerned, that's all that matters. 52 minutes played here at Loftus Road on Talksport 2, 1-1. And it's early season, but this has the feel of a big game. 2 sides really working hard for the victory here. Dunn spins into a challenge on the far side, and he's given the ball away. And an opportunity now for Rangers to come forward with Giddis Walker, and he's been chopped down by Dunn on the left corner of the Rangers penalty area, and this is a free kick for Reading in a very dangerous place, and it's a yellow card for Jimmy Dunn.
Yeah, it's really good play here from Giddis Walker, but again, QPR kind of guilty of overplaying, lose the ball themselves. It's done again with the giveaway, trying to be really clever. Giddis Walker picks it up, skips in field, lovely little bit of footwork here to get in between 2 players. And this is a dangerous area, a couple of yards outside the box, as you say.
In fact, there was a Rogbegam who caught him, and he's been shown the yellow card. I think Dunn had a nibble at him first of all and missed him, and then a Rogbegam made absolutely sure. But it's a free kick out on the Reading left, and Giddis Walker is over this. High delivery, lofted towards the far post, and Dieng this time had the opportunity to gather. Far too much air on that, really, with so many big players waiting inside the area. Yeardom now heads a long throw from Dieng in field across the face of the Reading penalty area, but Giddis Walker now will play a high ball forward again. Carroll is there to bring the ball down, tries to bring Zhao into the match, but it's blocked by the Chesterfield on the edge of the Rangers box, and then a sprawling Yeardom catches Roberts, and it will be a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. And look, it's a simple game when you use Andy Carroll like this, but it can be very, very effective.
It can. I mean, what they've got as well, looking at QPR, they put Sam Field in front, you know, talk about marking in front and behind. Sam Field's done a really good job, because at times if it's just popped off Andy Carroll half a yard off his chest or his touch, he's been there, Sam Field, so he's done a really good job.
Now Johansson wide to the far side, and Kai plays it into space for Chair. Guinness Walker will now have to think about his defensive duties. The cross in from Chair in towards the near post area, but nobody really gambled on it, and it's claimed by Joe Lumley. And he quickly bowls it out to this near side, and Yeardom, a high hanging ball once again, looking for Zhao, but cleared by Dunn. Kai, who came on in the first half for Laird, plays it long and high, looking for Lyndon Dykes, but it bounces straight out of play. Still a very wet night here. The rain has now stopped, but the considerable storm before kick-off time has really had an impact on the playing conditions, as another ball forward is guided back by Powell towards Senny Dieng. And I think at the moment Queen's Park Rangers are just looking to ride out the metaphorical storm here from Reading.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, they need to try and get on the ball and dominate it a little bit more, maybe have a spell in possession, just grow into this second half, because certainly they had an awful lot of the ball in the first 45, but it hasn't quite been the case so far.
55 minutes played on Talksport 2. Manchester City against Southampton coming up at 3 o'clock tomorrow here, with Ian Danter and Chris Owalamo live from the Etihad. Now Chair wide to the far side, and Johansson. Kai, double coverage for him very quickly from Carroll and Guinness Walker, but here is Chair again, looking to trick his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Kai holds his run to stay onside. Now his low whip ball in is deflected away by Guinness Walker, and Rangers will have a throw-in taken quickly. Here is Chair with a cross in which is deflected, and it goes behind off Loam, and it will be a corner to Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, they put good pressure on the ball, Reading. You've got to say, in this second 45, getting out to the ball, Guinness Walker there and Loam doubling up, just trying to stop that ball coming in the box, although admittedly it has gone out for a corner.
Johansson will take it. It's an in-swinger towards the near post, where Lucas Zhao is there unmarked to head the ball out. Throw into Rangers, taken quickly by Johansson. Here is Chair again, and Chair now delivers a cross in which is deflected, loops high into the air onto the head of Loam, and Loam does well to pick out Hoylett, and there was an opportunity for Rangers to have to do some more defending here, but Hendrick just checks back on the edge of the centre circle, and Reading at the moment are in control of this game. 12 minutes into the second half, it's still 1-1 on Talksport 2. McIntyre's ball forward nearly deflects into the path of Zhao on the edge of the penalty area. Then Rangers give the ball away. Zhao was being taken out there by Clark Salter, and it's a free kick to Reading in a central area about 25 yards out, and Clark Salter may be slightly fortunate there to avoid a yellow card.
It's a bad challenge. I mean, I'm just looking at the Reading bench. Alex Ray, he'll probably be proud of that one, but he's gone to the fourth official saying, in my day that was a great tackle, but nonetheless it's against my player, and that is a bad challenge from Clark Salter.
Hendrick is over the free kick along with Andy Carroll, and the two former Newcastle players are looking to cook something up here for the Royals. And everybody bar Tyler Roberts is back defending for Queen's Park Rangers.
I mean, it is, you would say, within shooting distance, but it's probably about, 30 yards out maybe. It's a fair way. I don't know, but
McIntyre and Holmes are both forward for this, so they may try to.
It looks like McIntyre's just dropped outside the box now, so maybe they won't.
Well, it'll be Hendrick with the right foot or Carroll with the left. Dieng is lining up the wall for a shot. It's Carroll with the left foot, and it never left the ground, and it bobbles off the base of the wall. But now Hendrick on the left-hand side. But a higher ball in, Carroll will leap for it, comes to McIntyre at the far post, and Holmes on the stretch will squirt the ball right across the penalty area, and Kai just booms the ball off the roof of the stand, but in doing so he's given Guinness Walker another opportunity to wing in a long throw.
Well, we've spoken about this already. Surely someone's got to be saying to him, just try and clear your lines, because it's like a corner this every time they do this.
Guinness Walker in towards Carroll again. Not a clear by Clark Salter, and Chair will just hook the ball over his shoulder up towards the halfway line, and Tom Holmes goes all the way back towards Joe Lumley, who has had very little to do since half-time here. An hour played on Talksport 2, 1-1. Carroll wins yet another header, but can't direct it towards a pink shirt. Hendrick is then penalised for clipping Johansson, and it will be a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. These two sides, with a victory, can close in on the leadership. Reading will go top, and Queen's Park Rangers would move level with Sheffield United and Norwich. Chair with a high ball into the penalty area. It's nodded down by Roberts, and it's a good save by Lumley. It's possible that Roberts got caught in two minds there to either go for goal or cushion the ball down for Dykes, and in the end Lumley made the save.
Oh, it's a superb ball in, brilliant ball curling, but it just seems to be always curling ahead of Tyler Roberts. He gets a good downward header, just lacked the pace to take it beyond the goalie.
Here is Chair now, breaking in field beyond the challenge, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Excellent defensive play though by Loam. The home crowd are booing, but he slid in and won the ball cleanly. And now a challenge on Lucas Zhao from Osman Kai results in a free kick for Reading. The home crowd are absolutely furious, but I think the referee got that right.
Yeah, looks like it. Just coming back to this charge from Tyler Roberts, it's a really good one. Lovely ball, brilliant ball in swinging towards the back post, and it's just he's always stretching for it, it's just always drifting away from him, and he just didn't really have the power to trouble Lumley in goal. Just palmed it away and had a bit of fortune, didn't he, that he came back with his defender into his arms.
Clark Salter heads the ball away. Here is Dykes. He spins and turns, and he's played in Elias Chair down the Rangers' left-hand side. He cuts in field. Chair with a right foot shot. Brilliant save by Lumley to leap up and beat the ball away for a corner.
Look, it was a good save, I've got to be honest. I think he could have carried this a little bit further. He shot from the edge of the box, really good break, brilliant hold-up play from Dykes, and terrific through ball. But as he's driving here, Che, he's got a runner on his left hand, he's got Roberts on the right. I think he needed another little fake here, another Lucas Zhao fake to shoot. Defender had gone to the ground, then bring it into the box and shoot from a little bit closer.
Johansson will take the corner on the far side. There is plenty going on inside the 6-yard area, and Tom Bramwell will just halt proceedings and sort one or two things out. Tyler Roberts and Andy Carroll were in very close attendance, and Carroll is saying, look, I've got to stand my ground. Corner into the penalty area from Johansson. It's headed away by Holmes, and Hoylett at the far post can bring it clear, but sliding in to make the challenge was Field, and the final touch was off Hoylett, and it will be a throw into Rangers. It's taken quickly. Here is Chair, but Chair runs into Loam, and Loam brings the ball away. He was then fouled by Chair, and Reading have the relative sanctuary of a free kick to just deflate this moment of pressure from Rangers.
Yeah, another dude Loam, I think does really well, but here's this effort from Chair, and as I say, he's got a runner on the left, Johansson. He shoots from just on the edge of the box. I think he could have faked to shoot and then just put it a little bit closer. It's a good strike as well. Goalkeeper had it that side. Might have been better trying to go towards the near post maybe. Nice height as well for Lumley.
But Lumley's had a good game so far.
He has. It would have been a big moment for him coming back here.
Because he was in and out of the team here, wasn't he? At times he was the number one and then left out by various managers and had to take his medicine on the sidelines. As done, under pressure from Zhao, slips as he clears on the far side, and it will be, you know what, a long throw to Reading again. They've had 6 or 7 of these so far in the second half, and every one of them has been taken by Nestor Guinness Walker. And this one was a bit flattered towards the near post. It's flicked on by Kai, but it was the Reading player behind him who got the final touch. That was Tom McIntyre, and it will be a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a better throw. You know, it's this unusual sort of run-up. He arcs his run-up, doesn't he? It's not a straight run-up. Maybe that's because he doesn't quite have the distance. You know, when the ball goes, crowd's quite tight here, isn't it? The hoardings, advertising hoardings, who probably can't quite get the run-up that he wants, Guinness Walker, but nonetheless, nice low trajectory, that one.
Reading, a team who were fighting relegation for several of the recent seasons in the Championship, with the exception of 2021, when, rather like this season, they made a terrific start, but in the end they rather fell away and missed out on the playoffs, finishing in 7th position.
I think they got, you know, a good squad now, strong squad, everyone's back fit, they haven't got many injuries at the moment, which I think is important for them.
No, and last season they had Lucas Zhao and Yaku Mete out for long spells due to injury, and they sold Michael Elise to Crystal Palace and Omar Richards to Bayern Munich, and when that sort of quality leaves the building, you will always suffer in the Championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
65 minutes played here, and they've had to try and rebuild this squad under a transfer embargo, but...
Well, that's interesting, Nigel. Sorry, just cut in, but, yeah, the ball went dead, and, you know, QPR giving it to Reading, and they're just, you know, patting the ball down and just taking their time. So maybe away from home here, they're quite content with a point, maybe. Seem to be just running down the clock when it's on to do so.
Now Hoylett sweeps it wide to the far side, and Nesta Guinness Walker. His early cross into the penalty area, headed away unchallenged by Field. Hendrick then leaps with Roberts, but it spins into the path of Ropingham, and he plays it forward to Dykes. Dykes, though, in trying to get the ball out of his feet, ran into Holmes, and Holmes is able to make the challenge, and it will be a throw-in for Queen's Park Rangers on the far side.
Well, it's a lot more open, because in the first 45 you never found Dykes 1v1 against Holmes at the back. You know, the back unit, the back three, or nearly back five at times would have been there.
Cleared away by McIntyre. But now Field for Queen's Park Rangers. Parle into the path of Chair, who spins away from goal, 30 yards out, plays a high ball into the penalty area. Arogbagon, I think, was trying to bring the ball down, but almost played it through towards Tyler Roberts, but it's swooped on by Joe Lumley.
Yeah, and actually the pass, though, from Elisha would have been better just on the ground, giving it wide to Kai rather than lifting it there.
Elias Chair with 3 goals so far this season. We mentioned in the first half that, with the exception of Chris Willock, no Rangers player has really scored with any regularity, and of course there is no Willock in the team today, as Kai concedes a corner on the far side. He was trying to allow the ball to dribble behind, but the physicality of Andy Carroll created an issue, and Kai, as he fell to the ground, bundled the ball out of play.
That is the way as well to endear yourself to the fans. You know, Lumley has booted the ball from one box to the other box, and everyone else has given it up apart from Andy Carroll. Chased after it, it's almost going out for a goal kick, keeps it in play, wrestles his man Kai and wins his side of corner. Superb there from Andy Carroll.
Corner kick which Hoylett will take on the far side. Once again, Holmes and McIntyre join Carroll and Zhao inside the penalty area, in towards that near post area, where it's headed away by Dykes. Dykes then wins the second ball, and he's found Chair on the right. Chair with the early ball forward, looking for Roberts, but it's cut out well by Yeardom, who quickly plays it wide towards Hoylett again, and Rangers will have to retreat here as Hoylett's got support down the left. He maybe thought about the high switch towards Andy Carroll, but instead it's fired in by Loam. Well, he took aim 25 yards out in the central area, and it was significantly wide.
Yeah, wrong decision when at times it looked like Andy Carroll was 1v1 up against Parle, who's a lot smaller. Should have put the ball on top of him.
Changes being made here. Rob Dickey is coming on for Queen's Park Rangers to replace Sam Field. And also for Reading, Ovi Ajaria will be coming on, and it's Tyrese Fornart who is making his way off. And Ajaria is another player who would have been on the radar of Nick Beale during his time with Liverpool when Ajaria was a young player there. But it's interesting that Queen's Park Rangers have brought on a central defender for a midfielder at home with 20 minutes to play to presumably cope with the threats. As Dieng plays it wide to this near side. And the clearance is quickly closed down by Carroll, and it bobbles back towards Dieng once again.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if they've changed shape here, Rangers, whether they maybe gone to a back three. You know, the two wing backs, because they've got two players out wide now. Parle and Kai can play wing back, and obviously Rob Dickey can just slot in as a middle centre half, no problem.
And effectively, Field's been doing that for most of the game anyway. He's been so deep trying to cope with Andy Carroll.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have 20 minutes to play here on Talksport 2. 1-1 at Loftus Road in the Championship. A reminder, coming up tomorrow, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham. All the goals as they go in from 1 o'clock. There are no lunchtime kick-offs tomorrow. 3 o'clock here on Talksport, Manchester City against Southampton. And then Sunday night, 7 o'clock kick-off, Everton against Manchester United on Talksport. 8 o'clock on Monday for Forest against Villa. And then we are back in the Champions League and the Europa League this week. Tuesday night, 5:45 on Talksport 2. We start with Copenhagen against Manchester City. Milan against Chelsea will be on Talksport at 8 o'clock with Wigan against Blackburn here on the home of the EFL in the Championship. Dennis Walker is forward again on the far side, but he's lost out. Kai quickly moves it forward. Arobagum with a good-looking ball into the channel down the right, looking for Dykes, but it's controlled and cleared away by Holmes, and it will be a throw-in for Queen's Park Rangers. And looks like three at the back now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For Rangers. So they've effectively matched Reading up, which in many ways is a tribute to Paul Ince and the way his team have played.
Yeah, maybe they just want to get a couple more bodies further forward as well. Take a gamble with the two wing-backs, maybe playing a bit higher.
Now Hendrick. His ball wide has been blocked by Chair, and Yeardon was briefly under pressure before he plays it back towards Lumley. High ball forward from him. And then the challenge from Parle on Hoylett. Hoylett goes down, but no free kick has been given. And it's a good ball from McIntyre, wide to the far side, and Ajaria. His first involvement, he's got Guinness Walker on the overlap, but he pulled it back just beyond Lucas Zhao, and it's cleared away by Clark Salter with Rangers at full stretch.
Oh, it's an excellent play. Great underlap there from Guinness Walker. Ran on the inside, but he didn't really have a look up, did he? Just played it blind into the box, and it was easily cut out.
Now Hoylett cutting in field down the right-hand side. A low ball in, taken down by Ajaria. Tries to pick his way through, and in the end it was a challenge made by Johansson, and it squirts back towards Sonny Dieng.
Oh, just couldn't quite get the ball out of his feet. Nice little initial half a yard here. Maybe could have got a shot off, but tried to take another touch.
Been given away again by Queen's Park Rangers, but then it's won back by Tyler Roberts. Reading were looking for the free kick. Here is Dykes. Dykes is then fouled by Yeardon, and it will be a free kick for Queen's Park Rangers. And Lester Guinness Walker's been one of the most impressive performers for Reading, David. It just shows how much value there is in the lower divisions.
Absolutely.
if you are prepared to look, or maybe in Reading's place, forced to look.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, they've looked kind of, their recruitment, they've looked sort of here, there and everywhere, haven't they, in terms of their loans. And I see Guinness Walker coming from AFC Wimbledon.
I remember seeing him play for the Metropolitan Police in the FA Cup a few years ago. Now Johansson is coming off for Queen's Park Rangers. Along with Tyler Roberts, Amos and Dazelle are coming on to freshen up the midfield. And also for Reading, manager is talking to Son on the touchline because Paul Ince is about to bring on Tommins. And it's Lucas Zhao who will come off. And you can tell he's the manager's son because he's wearing number 10, David.
But he's not happy, Lucas Shaw, that he's the one to make way. I mean, Tommy, you imagine you just play off Andy Carroll, slightly deeper, rather than your flat two up top.
Yeah. Well, Inter's had the most assists, shots and chances created for Reading so far this season. And interestingly, the highest number of tackles as well, which is not something you've always associated with Ince.
Tom Ince.
Tom Ince, sorry. Yeah, obviously his dad would love to tackle, yeah. Now Clark Salter. And it's played wide towards the far side again. And Dickey, very upright runner, in towards Chair, who rides the challenge of McIntyre. Wide on the right-hand side. And then the cross in towards the near post, headed away by Holmes. And we have 15 minutes to play here on Talksport 2. 1-1 at Loftus Road in the Championship. Two sides who enjoyed good results on Tuesday. An excellent result for Queen's Park Rangers, winning at Sheffield United. Reading drawing 1-1 at home with Norwich. And a win here would really cap a great week for them. Now Kai again on the far side for Queen's Park Rangers. The road begun square towards Amos, his first real involvement. Scored in the 4-0 win here against Reading last season, when Reading were in a very different place. And that was in the changeover before Paul Ince took over. Now Dickey wide to the far side, the Rangers right, and Kai again. Kai with the cross into the penalty area, and Holmes is there to rise and head the ball away, but it's recovered well by Arobagun. Kai again, high kicking with the orange boots, a low cross in this time, and McIntyre sweeps it clear. And defensively, yeah, they've been very good.
Yeah, they have. Holmes especially has always been in the right place at the right time, you know, squeezing the team up the pitch. That back unit in the middle of that back three has been superb.
Now Clark Salter for Queen's Park Rangers. 13 of their 21 points have come away from home so far this season, against a Reading side who have not travelled particularly well, relatively speaking, to their very good home form. Here is Arobagun. Good vision from him again to play the ball from left to right towards Dickey. Dykes with the ball into the channel down the right, looking for Kai, but it was never going to find him. And it was overhit and lacked direction, and it's a goal kick.
I mean, he raised his arm. I think he looks a bit leggy now, Lyndon Dykes. There was one sort of moment a little while ago where QPR cleared the ball and he chased after it. And look, we know he hasn't quite got the legs, you know, and the pace, but nonetheless, he just looks a little bit tired, a little bit weary. I'd maybe be thinking about making a change with him.
But in the absence of Chris Willock, they don't have too many striking options around at the moment.
Well, they could put, for example, move Chair into the middle. They've got Doma to come on. They'll have to make do as kind of they have been. You can't get away that they kind of need another striker, don't they? Make no mistake.
In January, and you wonder if they are challenging whether they will go into the market. Of course, in recent times, it's all been about getting the wage bill down and cutting the average age of the squad. But if they're in a position to challenge, it could be now or never, couldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
12 minutes to play on Talksport 2, 1-1. And Reading do have significant injuries at the moment. Aziz, Dan, Long, Moore, Rachman and Saar, all unavailable for this game. And Paul Ince could rightly say, judge me when we have more options available to us, but at the moment they're doing okay. Hendrick clips the ball in field, but it deflects into the path of Arobagun. Now Amos, quickly forward by Dazelle, and Chair has got the pace of Kai on his outside down the right. Chair now overlaps for him. Kai with a high cross into the penalty area, but it's beyond both Dykes and Dazelle, and it will be a throw into Reading on this near side.
Oh, that was a shame. That was a really good move. Started with Amos, a brilliant pass to break through two lines of Reading players, and then they're away, and just a bit of composure there from Kai. Cross over here, which was a shame. That was a good move.
Now thrown down the line again by Yeardom, but quickly won back by Rangers. Here is a Robogum. And there's a good ball to find Kai, who was in space, and the low shot from him, right-footed, snakes its way through the penalty area and wide.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear the crowd sort of encouraging him to shoot, but I'll be saying, no, just don't shoot from there. I think it's still too far out for him. He's got to try and link and work his way into the box here.
One or two members of the Rangers crowd around us just urging Joe Lumley to get on with things with just over 10 minutes to play.
Said that 5-10 minutes ago about how they're already sort of looking to wind the clock down with him.
England still leading USA by 2-1 in the Women's International at Wembley. Now Robogum plays it wide to the far side again, and Kai for Rangers, but he has to check back this time and find Dickey. And Dunn, another Rangers player, has had a very good game. Finding Salter, Dunn at the heart of the back three at the moment, with Salter to the left and Dickey to the right. Here is a Robogum, just in front of them. Gazelle, and again the delivery towards Dykes not quite right, and it's cleared away by Holmes. Guinness Walker with a long ball forward. Ajaria though losing out to the tenacious play from Kai. Robogum finding Amos, who bobs and weaves away from the challenge initially of Ince. Wide towards Parle, and then it's given away by Chair straight to Ince. And it's cleared long downfield once again. Controlled on the chest though by Dickey ahead of Carroll, and played back towards Seri Dieng. And we have 9 minutes to play on Talksport 2. And can either side prize a winner from this game?
Yeah, well, that'll be the challenge at the minute. You've got to say, well, it looks most like QPR, but that's when Reading look at, they can be at their most dangerous, obviously, sitting off, absorbing, and then hoping for a mistake to then go and counter. I mean, they've got a lot of good ball players on the pitch, even though, with the changes they made, Amos coming on, he's really talented with the ball at his feet. Gazelle, obviously, as well.
We have seen spells of Reading pressure in the second half, but all of the clear-cut chances have fallen to Queen's Park Rangers, and maybe another one now as Parles cross into the area, deflected at the near post by Hoylett, and they do have a corner kick. 66% possession for Queen's Park Rangers, but that's par for the course for Reading. They've had 10 shots, 4 on target. Reading have had 8, only 1 on target, and that was the penalty scored by Andy Carroll. Corner kick for Rangers, down this near side, taken by Chair into the near post, very deliberately cleared away by Ajaria. But here is a Robogum now, breaking into the penalty area, left-hand side, he goes down, penalty! The challenge from Lowe, and this time, Queen's Park Rangers have a penalty, and so late in the game, it's a chance to win the game.
Superb, isn't it, from Robogum, who's been a brilliant player for Rangers tonight, hasn't he? He's a superb ball carrier, gets out of little tight positions, he's got really good feet. I know he gave one away in the first time, but he does brilliant here, right, a couple of challenges, nicks it past Lohman. Yeah, to me that looks like a penalty. Great footwork, and he breaks into the box. How much contact there is there, I don't know, but I think there's enough. Certainly there's enough.
Well, the yellow card has been shown to Tom Holmes for dissent. Mamadou Loam quickly pulled his hands away to suggest there was no contact, but Lyndon Dykes will take the penalty. We welcome listeners from Talksport. A penalty to Queen's Park Rangers with 7 minutes to play. 1-1 at Loftus Road in the Championship. Lyndon Dykes will take the penalty for Rangers up against his former teammate Joe Lumley in the Reading goal. Dykes steps up, right-footed, confident penalty, low into the bottom left-hand corner, and Queen's Park Rangers could be moving level with the leaders, Sheffield United and Norwich, here this evening. Lyndon Dykes, brought back into the side in the absence of Chris Willock, has scored both of their goals, and Reading could be heading for a rare defeat. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Reading 1.
Yeah, dispatched it well, sent Lumley the wrong way, and 2 goals for Dykes, 2 really big goals for Lyndon Dykes, who struggled for goals for QPR, not for Scotland, but he has for Rangers. Touched it away nicely. I've got to say, Timo Ogbanan has been outstanding. I know he did give a penalty away, but his overall game superb. Atoned for that earlier penalty by actually making one himself. Brilliant run into the box, drew the foul from loan, and obviously Lyndon Dykes did the rest.
Commentary on the conclusion of this game continues on Talksport 2, but with 6 minutes to play, it is Queen's Park Rangers 2, Reading 1. And what response do the Royals have here? Carroll losing out in an aerial duel with Dickey on the far side. Now Loam forward towards Ince on the edge of the penalty area, straight back towards Loam. And Tim Arogbenam has had a very busy evening for Queen's Park Rangers, conceding one penalty, winning the other, and his quality at times has really shone, and at the age of 19 he's shown some real maturity in the heat of a championship game.
Absolutely. You know, I'm sure at half-time Mick would have said, look, don't worry about it in terms of when he gave a penalty away, and he's got lovely, he can pass with his left, he works the ball onto his right foot, and most players, they're not confident on their left to open the play out to the other side. They don't do it, but he does. 2-footed in the middle of the park. He's quick, charged with the ball. It's been a really good signing for them.
And there was contact. It was Loam's thigh onto the side of Arogbenam's hip, and that's what created the fall from the Rangers youngster. And at such pace, he was always likely to go down. And Rangers now have something to hold on to. Here is Ince, and a team who have, relatively speaking, been poor at home this season, have the chance now to go level on points with Sheffield United and Norwich, and Sheffield United have just fallen off the pace in the last couple of weeks. Norwich, of course, recovered from a poor start to the season. Their form overall has been very good. And we are covering a Saturday night game on Talksport 2 next week, Watford against Norwich, which I'm really looking forward to. Now a free kick's been given for Rangers, and there are plenty of frustrated Reading players out there at the moment, because they are aggrieved about the penalty award, but if that had gone to VAR, they would have said penalty, wouldn't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
And all of a sudden we have just over 3 minutes to play here. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Reading 1. Here is Dykes on a hat-trick, and he's offside as well, as the flag is raised on the far side, and it will be a free kick to Reading. And all of a sudden
there's a rush.
Yes.
Well, that happened recently. Where did that happen, where a team were wasting time and then the ball went into the crowd and the crowd wouldn't give the ball back?
No.
I forget, but brilliant.
And on Talksport 2 a few weeks ago we saw Burnley managing the clock at West Bromwich Albion, who then equalised in the 8th minute of added time. Now Hoylett for Reading on this near side, the right. Still time here for Reading to take something from this game. Ince challenged by Arogbenam, and this time it's a free kick for Reading. Right-hand side of the penalty area, around 25 yards out. Elias Chair just delaying the taking of the free kick, and he is ushered away by the referee.
Well, the way he spotted this down, you imagine Tomlinson is going to take this. Whether he'll go for goal here, it will be interesting, but not if you've got Andy Carroll in the team. Probably a little bit too far to the right-hand side to go for goal.
2 minutes to play. Ince can wrap his left foot around this, and he may well go for goal. There is an inviting gap at the near post left by Seny Dieng.
Well, he's kind of addressed this ball as if he is going to shoot, but tough angle.
Reading trailing here, but here is Ince with the free kick, and it's just wide, and he went for the near post. Seny Dieng sprints across and makes a sprawling save.
Yeah, I think it's a save he should be making as well, Semi, but nonetheless, good effort from Tom Ince.
Ince will now take the corner, which will be an in-swinger on this near side, into the 89th minute. High to the far post, Carroll challenging, but it was a Rangers head which nodded the ball behind. It will be another corner to Reading And they are pushing hard here for the equaliser late in the game.
Yeah, a sense of urgency now, and obviously Ince has got good delivery as well. Ince swinging from this side. A big team, Reading.
Ince again with a delivery, high into the penalty area, right through the penalty area. Carroll at the back post will recover it. He's got support from Hendrick, but in the end he goes all the way back to Guinness Walker. High ball from him, wide to this near side, looking for Ince, headed away by Dykes. Hoylett will try and win it back, but he's played out, and it will be a throw-in on this near side for Reading. And Guinness Walker now will try and loop one in from the right-hand side, and we are 30 seconds away from added time here on Talksport 2. Queen's Park Rangers leading Reading by 2-1. Guinness Walker with the throw, flicked on towards the near post, possibly by a Queen's Park Rangers head, but it's claimed by Dieng.
Yeah, and I think they're just saying that Dieng carried the ball over the end line here, that it should be a corner, but if anything, I think that would have been a foul given to the Rangers keeper. Oh, he's getting it back in play. Why is he throwing it out?
He looks for Dykes, and the ball will bounce through now towards Chair. 4 added minutes here on Talksport 2. Dykes finding Chair again. He's onside by the corner flag on this near side, and in the end he's being taken out, but it's only a throw-in conceded by Yeardon.
Well, he runs into the corner and all the fans stand up and we can't see a thing.
No, so we're on our feet here at the back of the main stand.
Bit of guesswork there. Well, we've got the telly as well, I guess.
But a free kick's been given, has it? No, it's a throw-in in the end, but Queen's Park Rangers are in no rush to take it. Now Amos in towards Chair again, and a triangle of possession is completed by Parle. Amos then just allows the ball to trickle away from him, and it will be a throw-in for Reading, and we have played nearly a minute of the minimum of 4 more here on Talksport 2. This would be a really big win for Queen's Park Rangers against one of the early season challengers, fellow early season challengers. Now Hoylett, infield again towards Loam, who gave away the penalty. Loam challenged by Arobagam, and it's Amos who brings the ball away, but play's been brought back here because Parle was caught by Loam, and it will be a free kick. Loam had words towards the referee, who will then call him back for at least a lecture. Yeah,
just good hustling there, doing the hard yards. I think, as Mick Beale said, they had to do against Sheffield United late on here, trying to protect the lead, working hard, and Mick Beale just pointing to the corner, saying, look, put the ball over here.
Yeah, it's all about game management now for Queen's Park Rangers. And Amos, though, will break into the penalty area away from Yeardon, but he turns it to Hendrick, who clears the ball away to find Ince. It's now allowed to run by Loam, and Chair picks it up now, 25 yards out, but just checks back and finds Arobanam. And Dazelle uses the ball well to find Dickey. Wide to Kaikai, and Kaikai saw the pass was behind him, unable to keep it in play, and it will be a throw-in for Reading. But Rangers kept the ball away from their goal for a considerable time there, and now they win it back again. Here is Chair finding Dykes, who will score both of their goals. Queen's Park Rangers coming from behind here, as Amos goes all the way back towards Dunn, and here is Clark Salter in towards Arobanam, and the free kick's been given for the challenge by Yeardon, and it's a challenge born of frustration here because Reading can't get the ball and they're running out of time.
Yeah, just got to stay on your feet there, Yeardon. And that'll waste a good few seconds for Rangers.
Oh, it's been given away by Arobanam briefly, but Ajaria can't do anything with it. Carroll then goes flying, but Amos plays it wide to this near side, and Chair can attack the penalty area, crossed high to the far post. It almost goes in at the far post, but a scrambling Lumley sees it just bounce beyond and behind.
As good as Arobanam has been, there'll be bits and pieces from this game which I'm sure Mick and the staff will show him. Like there, trying to play the ball on the halfway line, across the pitch, losing possession this late in the game. Can't do that.
30 seconds of added time to play, but a free kick's been given to Reading for a challenge on Andy Carroll by Luke Amos, and a yellow card for him, and this is surely the final chance.
Yeah.
Everybody forward. including Joe Lumley.
They need the ball, don't they? I mean, Lumley's gone up in the box, but Lumley's normally there to get the ball because the ball is in his box. Instead, he's run up to the opposition area and left the ball. So the teammates had to run and get it. Well,
Seby Dieng has already scored in these circumstances this season for Queen's Park Rangers against Sunderland when they made it 2-2 very late on at the Stadium of Light. And Joe Lumley will try and do something similar here, possibly. Inso for the free kick. We're into the 95th minute at Loftus Road. This is Reading's final chance. Ince with a delivery, high to the far post. Dieng comes, Dieng claims, and it's all over. What a week for Queen's Park Rangers. They have beaten Sheffield United, and here tonight they have beaten Reading as well, and they'll level on points at the top of the table with the early season pace setters, coming from behind to do so with 2 goals from Lyndon Dykes, the second a penalty, with 6 minutes to play, and new look Queen's Park Rangers continue to sparkle. Full time, Queen's Park Rangers 2, Reading